Hey, what is up, tennis world? Welcome back to the podcast where we break down the game from the baseline to the boardroom. If you thought the post Australian Open period was going to be a quiet lull, you haven't been paying attention to what I'm calling the mid February tennis renaissance. We are currently witnessing a professional landscape that is a complex synthesis of legacy, institutional evolution, and a massive transition into a new era. But before we get into the match results, let's talk about the commercial gravity of greatness. Imagine a venue built in the 19th century, the historic Newport Casino, preparing for a moment so big they had to pour $3 million into renovations just to get ready for the demand. I'm talking about the International Tennis Hall of Fame induction of Roger Federer. This week, the hall released tickets for the August 2026 ceremony, and the result was what organizers called unprecedented demand. Even with an added 3,600 seat stadium watch party on top of the original 900 seats, all 4,500 tickets sold out in exactly 2 minutes. 2 minutes? It is a definitive proof that while the Big Three era might be physically winding down, the economic and emotional stability Federer provides to this sport is as permanent as ever. Now, speaking of longevity and living legends, we have to head over to the Nexo Dallas Open, which officially leveled up this year to an ATP 500 event. This status change isn't just a label, it brought a massive prize pool of over $2.8 million, dollars, with the winner set to walk away with a cool $500,000 and 500 ranking points. But the biggest story in Texas wasn't the money. It was Marin Čilić achieving statistical immortality. At 37 years old, Čilić recorded his 600 tour level victory by defeating 20-year-old American prospect Lerner Tien 7-5, 7-6. Let that sink in. Cilic is now only the 29th man in the Open era to hit that milestone. He is currently the only active player besides Novak Djokovic to have at least 600 wins. For the data nerds out there, Cilic is the first man born in 1988 or later to reach this club, joining a list of names like Federer, Nadal, Murray, and Federer. This milestone carried deep national weight too. By hitting number 600, Cilic surpassed the legendary Goran Ivanisevic, who finished with 599 wins, to become the winningest Croatian player in history. After the match, a smiling Cilic said it means the world because of the huge battle he has faced over the last few seasons. We're talking about two major knee surgeries and a ranking that once plummeted to number 777. Cilic credited his mindset, saying he spent hours researching knee surgeries and recovery methods just to get back to this point. He even likened his current pure tennis connection to his legendary 2014 US Open run where he took out Federer in the semis. Cilic didn't stop at 600, though. He followed it up with a 7-6, 6-3 win over Ethan Quinn to book his spot in the quarterfinals. While Cilic was busy making history, the rest of the Dallas field was absolute chaos. The defending champion, Denis Shapovalov, showed everyone that he is a primary threat to the top seeded Americans. In his second round match against Alexander Kovacevic, Shapovalov was clinical, firing off 22 aces and committing only a single double fault in a 6-4 6-4 victory. He is set to face the third seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, the top seeded Americans are trying to hold the fort on home soil. Taylor Fritz, the world number 9, had a rocky start against Marcus Giron, needing a third set tiebreak to escape. But he looked much more dominant in his 6-3, 6-4 win over Brandon Nakashima. Ben Shelton, the second seed and crowd favorite, also looked sharp, moving past Gabriel Diallo in straight sets without facing much resistance. However, it wasn't a perfect day for the seeds. Francis Tiafoe was ousted by Sebastian Korda 7-5-6-1, with Korda's clean striking simply overwhelming Tiafoe's movement. We also saw a gritty performance from qualifier Jack Pennington Jones, who beat Elliot Spizwe in a match that featured two intense tiebreaks. Now let's fly across the Atlantic to the ABN AMRO Open in Rotterdam. This tournament has been a key fixture since 1974, and in 2026, it drew a field that rivals some Masters 1000 events. Even with the late withdrawals of Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev, the level of play has been unreal. The man of the hour in Rotterdam is undoubtedly Alex de Minaur, often called the Demon. De Minaur just equaled a record previously held by Roger Federer by reaching his fifth consecutive Rotterdam quarterfinal. As the top seed, de Minaur has been a wall, taking out Arthur Fils 7-6, 6-2, and then neutralizing the power of veteran Stan Wawrinka 6-4, 6-2. De Minaur actually leads the tour in ATP 500 wins since 2023, and he said he is relishing the challenge of being the hunted top seed. But if you want to talk about high drama marathons, we have to discuss Alexander Bublik. Bublik survived a total thriller against Hubert Hurkacz, winning 6-7, 7-6, 7-5. Hurkacz hammered down 25 aces and won 91% of his first serve points. But Bublik's mental fortitude in the closing stages was the difference maker. In the same draw, Felix Auger-Aliassime is looking like a serious title contender. He is currently on a six-match winning streak after successfully defending his title in Montpellier, a win that officially made him the most decorated Canadian man in the Open era, surpassing Milos Raonic. He moved into the Rotterdam quarterfinals with a solid 6-4, 6-4 win over Hamad Medjedovic. We did see a major upset, though. Daniel Medvedev was stunned in the first round by Hugo Humbert. Humbert's left-handed angles and aggressive play forced a three-set victory that blew the bottom half of the draw wide open. Finally, let's check in on the Golden Swing down in South America at the IEB Plus Argentina Open. The red clay of Buenos Aires always produces a unique brand of tactical warfare, but the draw was significantly altered before it was even started. Lorenzo Musetti, who recently reached a career high world number 5, had to withdraw to focus on rehabilitation for an upper right leg injury he sustained during his quarterfinal run in Melbourne. It's a strategic move that reflects a growing trend of top players prioritizing longevity over a heavy schedule. The local crowd was disappointed early on as the defending champ, 19-year-old Brazilian sensation João Fonseca, was knocked out in the second round by Alejandro Tabilo 6-3, 3-6, 7-5. Fonseca's loss highlights how difficult the transition back to clay can be after a hard-court swing. However, Argentine fans still have plenty to cheer for. Sebastian Baez has emerged as the clear favorite, putting on a clay court clinic in a 6-4, 6-3 win over Ignacio Bus. Baez is essentially becoming the king of these smaller clay events. He is joined in the quarterfinals by fellow Argentines Francisco Cerundolo, who beat Hugo Dellien, and Thomas Martin Etcheverry, who won a brutal three-set battle against Roman Andres Buruchaga. We also saw a resurgent Luciano Darderi move into the final eight, putting him on a verge of cracking the top 20 if he can secure the title. As we wrap up this week's Global Tour update, the data suggests a few key trends. First, the tour is successfully decentralizing, with events like Dallas and Rotterdam drawing massive attention by tethering their identity to regional heroes like Shelton and Minaur. Second, we are seeing the experienced premium players like Čilić and Wawrinka are proving that service efficiency and tactical depth can still win matches against the hard-hitting next gen. Next week, all eyes shift to the Middle East swing in Qatar and Dubai, where the stakes and the heat will only increase. But for now, we celebrate the legends and the rising stars alike. Whether it's Federer selling out an induction in 120 seconds or Cilic hitting win number 600, it is a great time to be a tennis fan. That's it for this episode. Make sure you're following the action in Dallas, Rotterdam, and Buenos Aires as we head into championship weekend. Drop a comment below. Who is your pick for the Dallas title? And can Deminor finally break through and win it all in Rotterdam? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of tennis. I'll see you courtside.